On the news, Nigerians lament subsidy removal plans as fuel scarcity intensifies. Reps back President Tinubu on subsidy removal, seek patience from Nigerians. And court sentences hotel owner Rahman Adedoyin to death by hanging over murder of OAU student Timothy Adegoke. Hello and welcome to News Now on TV 360 Nigeria. I am Simisola Adigun. Long queues have resurfaced in filling stations across Nigeria, triggering a rise in the cost of transportation. This comes less than 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu affirmed that his administration would not continue to pay subsidies on petroleum products. Plans to discontinue subsidy payments have long been announced by the past administration. So why was President Tinubu's declaration triggered scarcity of petroleum products? TV 360's correspondent Sydney Okafor in this report takes a look at these issues.
Barely 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu announced that the petrol subsidy must go as planned, filling stations across the country say they do not have the products to sell. Some will manage to sell the product, do so at most double the price at the cost of $3.50 per litre. In his inaugural speech on Monday, President Tinubu said, continued payment of petrol subsidy only favors the rich and depletes the badly needed revenue of the federal government.
The budget that I've glimpsed before I assumed office and what I've had is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone. We shall instead the channel whatever to form monetary policy. Do house cleaning, thorough house cleaning is necessary. The central bank,
though backed by the Petroleum Industry Act and the 2023 Appropriation Act, the fuel subsidy removal policy, according to the experts, is ill-timed.
Attempt to remove or not remove petroleum subsidy. You recall in January 2012, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the outgone president, Muhammad Buhari, they were all in opposition, leading protests against Jonathan administration in 2012 when Jonathan threatened to remove fuel subsidies. The irony of it all, that those that were against it in 2012, fast forward 11 years later, are the advocates of removal. But for me, it's the timing. It's about the timing.
In the 2023 budget, a total of 3.6 million naira was allocated for the payment of food subsidies for the first half of 2023. Millie Kiari, the Group Chief Executive Officer, NNPCL, says the subsidy have become a huge burden for the government.
24 hours, we have a new president, understand. And this morning I wake up, as you can see, you met us on the queue. I've been here for over 2 hours. And the point is, it's not even moving, understand. So, as a new president, I never expect this, understand. It came as a surprise, understand. Wake up this morning, get to filling station, I have to spend time before we get fuel, understand. So, it's very bad.
Terrible situation, because I was not expecting this. Because first of all, we have been expecting it from the past president. So it's so unfortunate when they inaugurated him yesterday, on his speech, he made it open that fuel subsidy is gone. So I find it so difficult, because when they swore him in, at the end of the day, this is day one of his government, and we find ourselves in this situation. Can't you see it's terrible? You understand? It's very, very terrible. So I don't expect us to be on this queue by this morning, because I came out this morning, I wanted to go and buy fuel and start my business. I found out there's no fuel anywhere. Even the filling station, even the filling station that have fuel, they hoard everything. So there is no way to buy fuel. I was here since 7 o'clock. Look at me up to now, and there's no hope yet.
While many Nigerians struggle to purchase petrol even at double the price, the opinion on whether or not the government should end petrol subsidy is divided.
We would like to assure Nigerians that we have sufficient supply of petroleum products, particularly petroleum motor spirit, in our country, and there is no reason to panic. We understand people will be scared of potential changes to price of petrol.
It was a shocker when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed the fuel subsidy, and since he removed the fuel subsidy, queues has returned back on different countries, different parts of Nigeria, and Nigerians are lamenting heavily about this queue. Let's hope that in the long run, government will implement measures to ease this hardship that Nigerians are going through. Sydney Okafor, reporting for TV360 News, Lagos.
Well, there have been reactions across the country to the resurfacing of fuel queues and shutdown of fuel stations. While some have backed President Bola Tinubu's announcement on fuel subsidy removal, stakeholders and marketers from the Trade Union Congress (TUC) to the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) have opposed the plan by the president to enforce his predecessor's decision to remove fuel subsidy by the end of June. While the TUC says the newly inaugurated president should tarry a while to give room for robust dialogue and consultation with stakeholders' engagement before making any decision on the delicate matter, IPMAN says the new government should dialogue with marketers before taking the action to remove subsidy. Although President Tinubu did not give a time frame or any more details of his major policy move, his address on subsidy has sparked panic buying, seeing a less than 24-hour hike in price of fares, leaving many residents stranded. To speak more on this development, Mike Osaki, IPMAN National Coordinator, joins me on the news. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, we're looking at a situation of cause and effect. The president boldly made the statement on subsidy removal, and hours later, fuel scarcity has emerged. Now, IPMAN, your organization, has kicked against this plan. So why are you opposed to the removal of petrol subsidy?
I also read what was said by somebody who is a member of IPMAN, but he has no money to talk about for IPMAN. IPMAN is in full support of removal of subsidy, and we have been canvassing for this one for years. And now that they have removed subsidy, there's going to be a level playing ground, fairness, and more money for the government. And there won't be anything like smuggling. So IPMAN is in support of regulation and subsidy removal. Now we are going to start business fully. We're going to do our importation, and ABC will do there. They were going to compete on the field. So that the consumer will get the best service. However, there's increase in price. But as Ambassador has said, that they will use this the income on this subsidy for the infrastructure for the masses, like education, light, rail, and whatever. So we hope that they get to the promise of ensuring that the income of subsidy go to the right channel. But however, I must emphasize that IPMAN is in support of deregulation, which has been done. And at the same time, from day one when he has been campaigning for election, he has said severally that from day one, when he comes in, he's going to remove subsidy. So it won't be a surprise to Nigerians. He has been elected by Nigerians, and is living up to the campaign promises that he has said. So so there's no anything to fear about. Initially, it will be very hard for Nigerians, but I believe later we're going to get the benefit.
Right. Nigeria is currently faced with a financial crisis, and the subsidy removal will see the country save at least 7 trillion naira, which can be used to develop other sectors, as the president has said in his address. Now, we're also aware that the 2023 budget has no provision for fuel subsidy beyond June. Now, if unions protest against the removal of subsidy and the president capitulates, don't you see an even worse financial crisis enveloping the country?
Well, with what is going on now, there's something that cannot be resolved on round table. I believe when the issue is on ground, they're going to sit, labor and stakeholders to see a way of ensuring that there's no problem. But however, the trust is most important. Trust. If Nigeria has trust in the government that what they say they're going to use the money for is being used for, I think that there will be no crisis. And as they have said that initially there will be some pains, but I believe that after some time, the pain will turn into fruitfulness and benefit for Nigerians.
All right, now, Mike Osaki, IPMAN National Coordinator, thank you very much for speaking to us. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has commended the decision of President Bola Tinubu on fuel subsidy removal. This followed a motion of urgent public importance by a member, Jimo Olajide. The House also appealed to Nigerians to be patient and prayerful to allow the president to deliver on his promises.
I therefore move that this House note that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on May 29, 2023, made a public pronouncement on fuel subsidy removal. Further notes that President Tinubu is a concerned senior citizen whose agenda is to favor the downtrodden for the purpose of humanity. Aware that there is no provision for fuel subsidy in the 2023 Appropriation Act. Further aware that the current 9th Assembly and the past administration have been giving it a legal backing. Convinced that further legislative actions in supporting Mr. President in delivering dividend of democracy will go a long way in enhancing development because he asked for it, he campaigned for it, and is ready for the task ahead. Further convinced that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Tutor General of Nigeria politics, who have been tested and trusted, is concerned about the masses and has the meaningful objectives to utilize Nigeria fund appropriately with budgetary reforms agenda, particularly on education, health, infrastructural development, agriculture, food security, and above all, security of lives and property as embedded in the 1999 Constitution as amended. This House therefore resolved to salute his courage and boldness to serve our country, Nigeria, with honesty and integrity.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has assumed work at the Vice President wing of the State House in Abuja on Tuesday. Speaking to State House correspondents in his office, the Vice President restated his commitment and that of President Bola Tinubu to improving the lives of the Nigerian people. When asked about the fuel scarcity currently being experienced following the subsidy removal pronouncement made by the President at the inauguration on Monday, Shettima affirmed the statement made by the President.
On the issue of the fuel subsidy, the truth of the matter is that we either get rid of the fuel subsidy or the fuel subsidy gets rid of the Nigerian nation. In 2022, we spent $10 billion subsidizing the ostentatious lifestyle of the upper class of the society, because you and I benefit 90% from the oil subsidy. The poor 40% of Nigerians benefit very little from the fuel subsidy. And we know the consequences of unveiling a masquerade. We'll get fierce opposition from those benefiting from the oil scam, oil subsidy scam. But where there is a will, there is a way. Be rest assured that our president is a man of strong will and conviction. And in the fullness of time, you'll come to appreciate his noble intentions for the nation. The issue of oil subsidy is going to be promptly addressed. The earlier we do so, the better. The issue of multiple exchange rates, we need to collapse it into one. So these are two big elephants in the room. And as the days and weeks come by, we'll be unveiling our agenda. He's going to unveil his agenda. Because, as I have always said, there can never be two captains on the same ship.
The Osun State High Court sitting in Osogbo has sentenced to death by hanging Rahman Adedoyin, the owner of Hilton Hotel Ile-Ife in Osun State, over the murder of Timothy Adekoke, a postgraduate student of Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU, in 2021. Osun Chief Judge Oyebola Ojo gave the ruling on Tuesday after the hotelier was found guilty in the case. Adedoyin was sentenced to death alongside two others who were found guilty of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The judge also ordered the forfeiture of the hotel and the Hilux bus used to convey the deceased to the dumping ground and ordered Adedoyin to pay the school fees of the two children of the deceased. The late Adekoke was said to have traveled from Abuja to write an exam at the Distance Learning Center of OAU in Moro, Osun State on November the 5th, 2021, and lodged in Adedoyin's hotel. He was, however, declared missing 2 days after, only to be found dead. The Chief Whip of the Senate, Orji Kalu, has said that he will not step down for anyone in the race for the office of the Senate President. Speaking to journalists at the National Assembly on Tuesday, Kalu says talks are at an advanced stage between himself and former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari to contest the 10th Senate presidency on a joint ticket, and the outcome of their meetings would be unveiled soon. Kalu's position is contrary to the stand of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, which has zoned the seat of the Senate presidency to the South-South and chose Senator Godswill Akpabio to lead the 10th Senate.
Well, I cannot step down for anybody. Yes, you are right. We are talking with Governor Yari. Our group and his group are talking. We are in intimate partnership and talk to make sure that no one zone can produce a Senate president. Like I used to tell you people, no one zone can produce a president of Nigeria. It's the same thing. What we are trying to play with Senator Yari is a united partnership that works for Nigeria. So in the coming days and weeks, those partnerships will be unveiled. We will see what the partnership will do. So we're in serious talk. Yes, I cannot deny it.
The former Abia State Governor also admonished President Tinubu to immediately concentrate on completing all abandoned projects in the country, adding that the completion of the over 11,000 uncompleted projects will take the country out of debt.
President Ahmed Tinubu, for me, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, he should look into all the abandoned projects.
NTA now.
Like Ajokuta steel mill, like Alaja steel mill, like Jos rolling mill, like Kasina steel mill. These are the source of our debt. One of my friends told me that he made a study, which I believe with him. Senator Jibo Ibrahim told me he made a study that over 11,000 abandoned projects. And these are what is taking our debt servicing. Secondly, I would also like President Ahmed Tinubu to stamp on security, issue of security, and people of Nigeria. And some of the ministries and parastatals are no longer viable. If I'm issue, something like Minister of Niger Delta, some of those ministries are no longer viable to.
We'll take a break here, but still to come. Manhunt underway for suspect as baby among 9 persons shot at United States Memorial Day. Stay with us for more details and stories after this break. Welcome back. Now here's a recap of our top stories. Long queues have resurfaced in filling stations across Nigeria, triggering a rise in the cost of transportation. This comes less than 24 hours after President Bola Tinubu affirmed that his administration would not continue to pay subsidies on petroleum products. We also told you that the House of Representatives has commended the decision of President Bola Tinubu on the removal of fuel subsidy. This followed a motion of urgent public importance by a member, Chimo Olajide. The House also appealed to Nigerians to be patient and prayerful to allow the President to deliver on his promises. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins, so for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. In COVID update, the UK's Downing Street has denied accusations of a cover-up over its handling of the disclosure of evidence to the formal COVID inquiry as a deadline for handing over Boris Johnson's WhatsApp messages and diaries was extended. The inquiry, chaired by Heather Hallett, showed that it had pushed back the deadline for the Cabinet Office to submit the censored pandemic-related material from 4 p.m. on Tuesday to 4 p.m. on June the 1st, following a formal request from the government. The inquiry also revealed that it had been told by the government that the Cabinet Office does not have in its possession either Johnson's WhatsApp messages or his notebooks, as the wrangling over the disclosure continued. We'll go on another break and return shortly. Do stay with us.
Relax. That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now. Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO. How are you? That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for the weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know who is here. That boy is my brother, and I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found a gun, confessed to robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember, police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
Corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption, not in my country.
Welcome back. Folashade Ogumide joins us now with business news. Over to you, Folashade.
Well, many thanks, Simi. As the world moves rapidly with the emerging trends in technology, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Obafemi Hamzat, has emphasized the need for the deployment of technology to solve the wide unemployment gap in the country. Speaking at the 5th AM Agro Entrepreneurship Lecture Series, the Deputy Governor said technology must be harnessed to curb rising unemployment. According to the Deputy Governor, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, Shakiruddin Onosoya, efficiency and effectiveness of technology is pivotal to the success of any business operations.
We're quite confident and hopeful that this new government will provide the leveling platform for SMEs and young people alike to progress and express their entrepreneurial zeal in making the country better. I see a lot of promise. I see a lot of youth engagement.
When you look at what is happening in Nigeria, Lagos State has done a lot in all sectors of the economy in ensuring that our youths are engaged positively. One of the issues is that we have a lot of youths that are unemployed. But Lagos State has done a lot in the area of agriculture, in the area of technology itself, even in the area of vocations like tailoring, fashion design, and so on. So the state has been able to do a lot in this regard.
This lecture series is instituted in the name of Abudu Mukondase Agoro, who himself was a visionary and a very astute entrepreneur in his time. And he supported entrepreneurs throughout his lifetime. And so this is a way of continuing the work that he started. And what we do is we have lecture series like this one, and we also have grants and mentoring program and digital training for businesses. The idea is to support businesses to grow, especially young businesses. The hope is that the new government coming in will see the importance of businesses, especially entrepreneurs, in the economic development of the state, of the country, and that they must support entrepreneurs in totality.
We'll take a short break here and be back with a review of the stock market. Just stay with us. Trading on the floor of the Nigeria Stock Exchange closed positive on Tuesday as investors gained 1.55 billion naira. This comes as the all-share index and market capitalization appreciated by 5.23% to 55,745.74 and 30.4 trillion naira respectively. Now the market breadth was positive as 116 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 64 gainers and 14 losers. Now Zenith Bank PLC and Transcorp Hotels PLC led the gainers table with a 10% increase each. Now the flip side, Ikeja Hotel PLC and NCR Nigeria led 12 other equities on the laggards table. They both recorded a combined loss of 4 naira 92 kobo. Now in terms of volume, billions of shares were traded on the floor of the exchange in 9,916 deals worth 15 billion naira. Now for our select global stocks as the FTSE, Dow Jones and Nikkei, it's a mixed trading day. While FTSE and Dow Jones both ended trading on a bearish sentiment, Asian stock Nikkei ended strong at 0.30%. And that's it on business news and stock market review. Back to you, Simi, for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Folashade. And in sports, finally in sports, Nigeria's Flying Eagles is expected to begin training at the stadium on Tuesday after missing the official training session on Sunday. The team was due for training at the Estadio San Juan del Bicentenario on Monday night. The training session was, however, called off after their flight from Buenos Aires to San Juan was delayed for several hours by Argentine airport officials. The boys will take on host Argentina in the round of 16 on Wednesday. Well, that's our bulletin this evening. Many thanks for watching. I'm Simisola Ajiku. Bye for now.